What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 4.
Is it 4?
Is it 4? I'm pretty sure it's number 4.
Oh, I don't know. I
Well,
thought
welcome. Right, we are here in my house.
Yeah,
in
once
Mountain
again.
View once again, and we got the same crew from last time. You know, we got Jonathan in audio, we got Tammy behind cameras, and we got you and me.
Yeah.
So yeah, how's your week been so far?
It's been good. Oh, dang, it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday.
It's Friday.
Woo.
Yeah, so we record on Thursdays. It just makes it easier for us to like.
It's kind of our free day because Mondays I feel like we all have it
The
off.
week starts on Mondays, so work amongst other things, and then service on Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays is midweek, so you don't want to do anything, and then
And
Thursdays,
sometimes we have practice.
oh yeah, Wednesdays we do have practice, and then Thursdays, well, you know, we don't have people here in the house, so it's easier for us to record.
You're right.
So because there's prayer at our church at the moment right now, but and then we have service tomorrow, Friday, which we're leading, so that's exciting.
Yes.
So so if you're at home watching, you can tune in to Aposento Alto MB. We're on Instagram too. So
Yes.
and then we have our services on Facebook too. So feel free to watch that. But yeah, it's been quite an interesting week. You know, our other episode is uploading at the moment. It just takes a while for it to upload,
Right.
but it's uploading, and then we're back at it this week. You know, we're not trying to upload every single week just because we understand how like hard it is to find time, you know, to edit, and then, you know, to set up everything, and then other people's schedules too. But I think every 2 weeks is doable.
Yeah.
You know,
it'll be baby steps.
Yeah,
Baby steps.
you know. But you know, it's funny the topic that we're going to talk about today, because I think it's super. Well, I see a lot of people look at me, especially when I came here to the church. They saw as soon as I went up on stage, and my uncle told me, "Hey, you're leading worship."
Right.
And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then I go up there, and then after the service, we do the service or whatever. But after, people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, you have a tattoos?" I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah."
Oh, people actually said that?
They actually came up to me and they're like, "Yo, you have tattoos?" Like, I'm like, "Yes,
I didn't know
know
this.
Like, yes, I have tattoos on me." And they're like, and I have some youth. They're like, "Aren't they bad?" Like, you know, because growing up, our parents told us,
and they still
say, "Hey, tattoos are bad."
Right. Yeah.
Right. But I'm like, this will be a touchy subject, right? But
Yes.
let me say this before we get started. If you plan on getting tattoos, do not take advice from us or from me. That's your own personal decision.
Disclaimer.
Yes. Like, I'm not saying
we're
go
not
out.
saying go get a tattoo.
Yeah, like, you make your own
Parents
decisions.
don't come for us.
Yes, please don't. And if you're from our church, don't come looking for me, okay? But just saying, do your own research. That's your decision, right? But at the end of the day, you know, everyone's whatever thinks, you know. I'm thinking they're not, but we'll get into it real quick. So it's funny story, right? When I first got my first tattoo, it was, I want to say like,
oh yeah, that was one of my questions. When did you get your first tattoo?
First tattoo 5 years ago. No, right? 5 years. Yeah, 5 years ago.
So you were 20?
Yeah.
You're 20?
When I was 20. Yeah, I know.
Sorry, I had to make that.
My birthday's
TikTok
in March,
reference.
just saying. But yeah, so I got my first tattoo when I was 20, and then 5 years ago. And honestly, it was more of a emotion, as in like, it was my emotions that told me like, hey, like, I saw like people with tattoos, you know, and I was just like, like I want to, I really want to, but I know I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I ended up doing it.
Right.
You know, and it's my first tattoo. I got it on my chest.
Okay.
And this was because
what is it?
It's Roman numerals.
Okay.
So basically, a cousin in Mexico passed away when I was in Mexico, and we were super close. We were seeing each other every single day. We were hanging out with each other a lot. He played a lot of instruments. We played together at different, you know, events, church events, parties, whatever. And then when he passed away, I was like, you know, I want something to remember. At the time, I was like 17, so you can't get tatted. Or you can, but I mean, I didn't want to like go the wrong way and, like, you know, behind whatever. And so I'm like, I'm going to wait it off. And then finally, when I was 20, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it. Yeah. And then, I got tatted here. That was my first tattoo. And then I think it was about a month. And I told my brother, it's funny because he told me, like, you got a tattoo. Like, there's no way. He didn't believe me. I'm like, yeah, look. And then fast forward like 2 months later, I was like, my parents aren't going to find out. I'm always going to wear shirts in the house, everything's cool and all.
Oh, gosh.
And it's funny. I was sleeping one day and then I think my alarm was like annoying my mom or something. And she's like, she comes into the room. Right. And then for that, whatever reason that night, I just decided to sleep with no shirt on. Right. It's hot. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to wear a shirt. And I'm there just sleeping, and then my mom comes in.
Oh no!
And then she's all like, I hear her too, and I remember, and I was like taking a while to wake up, but then she's all like, "Christian, is that a tattoo?" I was like, "No, it's not." And I like try to duck it, turn on my belly and stuff. And then she's like, "That's a tattoo. I saw that tattoo." And I'm like, "No, it's not." And then she's all like, "Yes, it is." And I'm like, "Oh, fine. Like, yes, I got tatted, right?" And then she like, I don't want to say she got like mad.
I think maybe disappointed.
Really disappointed.
Yeah.
I remember the conversation. She told my dad. Actually, no. She told me, "You're gonna tell your dad." And I'm like, "Oh, like can't you tell my dad for me?" Like I don't feel like having that conversation with my dad. And then I'm all like, and she's like, "No, you have to tell your dad." I'm like, "Okay, fine." And then it took me a while to tell my dad, but eventually I told him like, "Hey, Dad, like I got tatted," and he's all like, "I know, your mom told me." I'm like, "Oh, what the heck," But I got tatted, and then it was like, the first one's always the worst, And I think I paved the way for everybody in the family to get tatted because like after I got tatted, Chris got tatted, Moy got tatted, right? Yeah, he got tatted. So it was just like I was the first one to get tatted, and then everyone just followed after. And then like
I don't have tattoos, so
yeah, you'll get there, at some point. But after the first one, it wasn't long. It was like 4 or 5 months after that I decided to get another one.
Oh wow! So back to back,
yeah. And I was just at the point I was just like, no, they already flipped out on the first one. Like, right. Okay, like if I get a second one, and again, I'm like, they're not gonna find out. Like, I'm gonna hide it. And of course, I put it in the most obvious spot. Like, so this was my first one.
Right. And where's your second one?
Right here on my shoulder.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one was big. This one's not like a little Roman numerals. No, this is like a full on shoulder tattoo, right?
Yeah.
And then I got it, and it was when I saw it, I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna be able to hide this from like my parents," right? And then I got it, and I told my brother again, like, "Dude, look what I got." Like, "Dude, that is huge. What the heck?" And I'm like, "Nah, you know what? I might as well just man up to it." And like I thought I could wear long sleeves. I told my brother, I'm like, "I'm gonna wear long sleeves every single day. They're not gonna find out about this tattoo." A week later, I'm wearing like a super short, like not a tank top, but just a short sleeve shirt. And then I do some movement, and then my mom again is the one who sees it. She's like, "You got tatted again?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then she again got really disappointed. Again, she's like, "Stop like putting tattoos on you." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll stop." But then and all three, I got 3 tattoos in 1 year. Okay. Right. So it was the Roman numerals. I got the rose, and then after that, I forget which one I got, but I want to say it's right here on my bicep. God is greater than my highs and lows. I decided to get that, and then got it on my bicep, and then I was just like, at that point, I was like, you know what, like, okay, so I got another tattoo. Yeah. So what?
And what did she say about the third one?
My mom, she's just like, okay.
She just gave up at that point.
She was just like, oh, this guy, este muchacho, the chico, whatever. And I'm like, it is what it is. I got it, I did it, and it's like. After that, every single tattoo that I got, it was more like, oh my gosh, this guy got another tattoo. But yeah, I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 tattoos in total. Am I gonna stop? I don't know. But
do you plan on getting more?
Yeah. Yes, but I don't know which one, because after my first one, because how I told you, like, my first one was just out of emotion that I saw people, oh, like a tattoo ought to be nice, and something meaningful. I was those people that was like, oh, if you're gonna get a tattoo, you get something meaningful, and then we'll touch on this later, but like, my idea wasn't to get a tattoo of like, like an eagle or or a calaca, like a skull or anything crazy, or like a name of someone, you know, that sort of thing. That was never my intention. I always told myself, if I'm getting tatted, it's going to be tattoos that mean something in the sense of like a family member or my beliefs, you know, being Christian. I'm like, I have a cross on my forearm, and then I have let go and let God, which is right here on my tricep.
Oh dang, you have several. I don't think I've like fully processed that that you have
people think I only have like 2, because I mean on social media I posted like, oh look, I got a tattoo, right? But I only posted like 2, but they don't know of the other like 6 that I have. So, but they're all biblical. Well, not all of them, right? 2 of them are from family members, but the rest are like biblical. And going to my point of like, I think it depends a lot, you know, of what kind of tattoos you get. This is just me. Yeah. You know, like if you're going to get tatted, if you're in church and you're thinking, oh, you know, he got tatted, I'm going to get tatted too. Yeah. It depends a lot on what you put on your body. You know, you're not going to go up there. I'm not going to go up there and put like I said, a skull or a.
Which again, a lot of people who aren't Christian in this case specifically, it's like, you know, they get tatted and it's like they put on whatever they want. It doesn't really matter. They're just like, oh, like I just want something to remember this specific moment or whatever it is. And that's cool. I mean, I love tattoos. Like I love art in general. It's funny because when I was younger, I've always been into drawing and like doing letters and like cursive and everything. I get that from my dad. But I remember in middle school, my friends would ask me to like with Sharpie, like do tattoos on them. Like they would tell me like phrases. Back then it was Demi Lovato and like it was very the stay strong, right? Yeah. I wouldn't do it on myself, but they would be like, oh, can you do it? And every day they would ask me to do something and I enjoyed it, but like it was just because it was a way of expressing, I guess, myself and art, but it's just funny. But I don't have tattoos. I don't think I
will you?
I mean, I do, but at the same time, I'm such an overthinker. Like I overthink everything. So like I go back and forth. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want something on my body for the rest of my life. So that's what freaks me out, but that's just me personally.
So I guess here's the question. Like if you're a Christian, you go to church, right? And you see someone with tattoos, like they're leading worship. They are a pastor or something. What do you think about that?
I don't think anything, because I think we kind of grew up differently than our parents did. I see it, I don't want to say normal, but kind of like it's very normal to see someone. My youth pastor from when I was growing up, he had tattoos. And I remember we would go to other youth events and everything, and their youth pastors also had tattoos.
Was it the guy from Pleasanton?
Yes, Victor.
The guy who passed away.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But here's the thing, though. What kind of tattoos did he have?
Well, he also had like again, biblical like tattoos, just like verses and everything. And one of his very good friends, another pastor, he has a lot of tattoos. Yeah, and I think, I don't know. I saw it kind of normal at that point. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. 'Cause obviously, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's normal, but I don't know. Is it?
I mean, now it's like the sort of with shoes, right? Like, are you even like a youth pastor if you don't have like Jordans on or whatever?
Right.
Are you even a youth pastor if you don't have tattoos or whatever? Because I mean, you see all these like big youth pastors and they're all wearing like tattoos. Jay's another subject, but like, you know, I think it's normalized now, but to the point where, let's say it was you have kids someday. And let's say you have tattoos, right? What are you going to tell them? They look at your tattoos and they're going to be like, hey,
like, what
we grew up in church, and I don't know how, like, down the road how you'll teach them, right? But they get the idea that, hey, tattoos are bad, but I want to get one. What would you tell them? Would you let them?
I don't know.
Because
it's different for me because I don't have, so I can't necessarily say. But I would at least say, like, okay, wait until you're 18. Or even 21 maybe. But 18, and like let me know beforehand, like what are you gonna get? if they have the thought of doing that. But see, in your case now, would you let your kids, because you do have tattoos, so your kids are gonna ask you one day,
Yeah.
okay,
So
tell me the meaning of each tattoo. When did you get it? Can I get? Yeah.
I would ask them, like, what kind of tattoo are you trying to get and why?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just can't be like I told you. It can't be off of emotion. He can't tell me, or she can't tell me, like, hey, um, I'm getting it because I saw this girl or this guy have this tattoo, or this celebrity, whatever, and I want to do that. I'm like, no, like that's dumb. You know, like no, you're not allowed to have tattoos. But if they tell me and they like, hey, it's because I want this verse, or I want this biblical, I don't know, a cross or whatever, right? Whatever it may be. I want that. And I'm like, oh, okay, but wait till you're 18.
Now,
you know?
what if it's not something biblical? What if it's like, I don't know, something random, like a flower? I don't know. Would you be okay with it?
No, I would not.
No?
I wouldn't. No, because it's just like, well, why? You know, like there's no, you're doing it just because it looks cool, or you're not doing it for the right, like all these tattoos I have meaning to me, whether they be like a date or something, but they all have meaning to me. But if you're just doing it like, oh, I like how a flower looks, like, like no, like,
Okay.
you know, that sort of thing. But going like we're Christian. But what happens? How do you respond to people that say? Because this, I think it's in Leviticus, right? That it says, "Don't mark your body with cuts or I think the New English. Or
it says tattoos now.
Yeah,
the new version.
Yeah, but see, here it is, like new version. Like the word tattoo didn't come into existence to like what, the 1700s or something like that. I don't know, right? But it wasn't back in the day. But now for the King James people, the King James version, right, it says something completely different. But I mean, you have to read the context that it was given.
Yes.
Like that part of the verse.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just say, oh, like the Bible says that there, but oh no, but look, go back a
and
couple
that's
verses.
exactly what a lot of people argue. I guess the ones who are pro and the ones who are con.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but it says it in the Old Testament. But it's like, okay, but you know, that's in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
There's nothing about it in the New Testament.
And then you're like, okay, fine. You want to take it that way? All right, fine. You can't eat meat. It says you can't eat meat with like
you
blood.
can't cut your hair.
I know, exactly.
That was another thing. So then that's a big. It's really interesting. I would recommend you guys to really look into it, because I was reading about it a lot, and it's just so broad. I feel like we would need to really sit down.
And at the end of the day, it has to be more towards a conviction that you feel about it. You know, I can't tell you, oh, tattoos are bad. And then I have them, and I can't tell you tattoos are good because I have them. You know, you have to find out your way. But I guess the thing I get the most, especially from my parents, right, or even people from church, when they say like, oh, your son's tatted, because my parents have had people gone up to them, like they see me up on stage leading worship, and then they're like, oh, like your son has tattoos, like what's up with that? You know, we preach, or they say that, oh, tattoos are like don del diablo. You're like, you're going to hell, like if you have tattoos, right? But I think for me, that's not true.
Yeah, I hate when people say that. Like, oh, just because you're doing this, you're gonna go to hell. Like, what?
Yeah, like no, you can't be saying it, you know. But and I tell my parents, like, look, mom, dad, I'm not getting anything that's, I guess, offending God or offending someone or something that's really stupid. You know, like a skull. Or
and
like
something that I always, especially in church in general, I feel like we see a lot of people who come in and they have tattoos that obviously are probably from their past or whatever, but you can't judge a person based on their appearance, and only you know your relationship with God. I don't know it. I know you to an extent, and I know some of it, but only you know your true faith and relationship with him.
Exactly. And see, that's different, because when you have someone who came from outside, you know, never knew Jesus, never accepted salvation, came from the afuera, from the world, you know, and they already have, they used to live a specific lifestyle. You can't blame them. You can't be like, no, you're going to hell because you have tattoos. Like, no, he had a life before, but now that he knows God and accepted salvation.
And we have a lot of people like that. Yeah. And I find it interesting, you know, like kind of hearing that testimony. And for a lot of times it's a little hard for them, depending on what they went through. But it's interesting. It just kind of marks them, and it shows their past and that side that
Yeah.
they had, but you know, now they've come to Christ.
Exactly. And then I'm like, you know, I'm not going to judge you just because your past life, you did that, but now you're born again. And if you want to get more tattoos, then that's fine with me,
Yeah.
you know, but like, you know, why you're getting that
Yeah.
tattoo. If you're doing it because, oh, you know, I want to want people to look at me, or I want people to see a part of my body, you know, I have my tattoo on this part because whatever reason it may be.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you'll know, like, once you got Jesus in your heart, you know what's right and what's wrong.
And I feel like a lot of times Christians, we tend to point fingers. And I feel, I don't know, I feel like it's seen, a lot of people see us as bad, or that we are so judgy precisely because of things like this. Like, even in church, like, you know, everyone is saying like, oh, like, you have tattoos, or you're wearing this, you dyed your hair, you have this many piercings, like, and so I feel like a lot of times we sometimes even scare people away from church because they're like, oh, like, I have this many tattoos, they're gonna judge me.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's in every church where they see someone that's like, oh, he has like a bunch of tattoos, she has piercings all over her, she has or whatever, you name it, right? Yeah. And that's the thing that sucks about, I guess that's probably one of the worst parts about us Christians, that we're so quickly to judge. Yeah, you know, we say we talk about, oh, don't judge others, you know, but yet we're the first ones to judge as soon as someone new comes through the door and you see them a specific way, and you're like, no, like, that shouldn't be that way. They're here because they feel something's missing from them, and they're looking for it in church, and that's what we want. But if we're right away seeing someone like from the street all tatted and everything, like, hey, you can't come to church, like, look at you, how you look. Or even someday, you know, where God moves in a way in their life that's like, whoa, complete 360, and they're up on stage preaching or something like that. But then, like, people are gonna see like, oh, like, you're tatted. But I mean, the testimony you can give there is like, oh, this is my life, but now God moved in my life, so this is how I'm living now. But I mean, for, like I said, like, tattoos, for me personally, I don't see anything wrong with it.
I mean, I'm with you there. I don't see anything wrong with it either. And even like friends who I have who are non-Christian and they have tattoos, I always like to see like, oh, like, let me see your tattoo, like, oh, like, it's really nice. I feel like nowadays in our this like pop culture, it's very like trendy to have butterfly tattoos. I feel like every girl has a butterfly tattoo. I don't know a girl who does not have a butterfly tattoo. Or I don't know, people just get or the dragon. Have you seen girls with like red dragons? No, or like snakes.
No, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I've seen with girls.
I've seen a lot of guys like with tribal tattoos, you know, like those like designs or whatever, like the full bicep, whatever. I think
like, oh, like, cool. Are you in the army?
like would I get that? Probably not. You know, again, back to the point. I'm not gonna get anything that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not doing it just because like, oh, it looks good on him, I'm gonna get that too, you know, might look good on me. Like, I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because either it has really strong meaning to me, that I'm like, this is something that I want, or because, you know, you just know. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you make your own decisions.
And also, like, in the workforce, I mean, no, depending on what job you have or want, I mean, tattoos are still, I feel like a lot of people are now trying to break that like, oh, it's okay to have like tattoos, like, you know, wherever, like a full sleeve, let's say, and it's fine, and it's cool. But I feel like still face tattoos or neck tattoos, hand tattoos, that's when I feel like some companies kind of draw the line of like, wait, hold up.
And that's that thing where you draw the line. Like, I would never put anything on my face, my neck, my legs. No, I would not do any of that, you know?
Not on your legs? Because I see a lot of guys who have like above the knee.
No, that's no. That's a big no for me. You know, that's they're painful. It's painful there. You know,
how is the pain?
The pain is depends where you get it. You know, if you get like, the closer you get to like I guess to the hand, it hurts more. Like this one right here, pretty painful. Like, it hurt a lot. But the least painful one was the one right here on my shoulder.
Interesting.
Yeah. So everyone has different pain tolerances, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I suggest you make your own, I guess, decision.
And also, I mean, your parents, I feel like, you know, what are your parents going to think? Because I know my parents would trip. Like, they would absolutely not be okay with it, like, at all. My whole life, I grew up with my dad telling me, if there's one thing, like, I do not want you to do, is to get a tattoo. He's like, I think I could maybe deal with anything else, but he's like, a tattoo, he's like, I don't think I could, like, overlook it.
Yeah.
But it's different because that's, again, I feel like, again, the stereotype of boys and girls, because I'm a girl and my dad is just like, no, like, I don't want, like, especially because I'm up there on stage, and he's like, I get a lot of comments of hermanos or hermanas saying like, oh, that their daughters, you know, look up to you, and he's like, I would really not like you to get a tattoo because of, you know, those girls are looking up at you. And so that kind of makes me also feel like, oh dang, like, like I don't know if I would want that. But
when people ask me, especially our youth, when they ask like, hey Christian, should I get a tattoo? No. I'll tell them no. Like, don't get one, you know, not because they're not bad, but because, like, I think
it's a decision that you have to make.
I can't tell you like yes, no, but you should really, like, that's your decision. You want one?
If you think that that's right for you and whatever, like, moment in your life you're going through, then that's cool. I respect that.
Yeah, but for me, it's like, you know, make your own decision. I'm not going to tell you yes or no, it's wrong or not wrong, but like, you just have to decide by yourself. You know, deal with consequences. You know, if your parents don't want you getting tattoos, do not get tattoos.
Yeah, don't do it. If your parents
and if you
like,
do
no.
decide to, tell them. Okay, don't hide it from them. That's even worse. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Then I now when I get rid of tattoo, I go up to them and be like, hey, look what I got. This new tattoo. And they're like, oh, okay. It's natural to them. They're like, it's normal to them. Like, oh.
Well, your brother has tattoos now.
Yeah, my brother has tattoos. So yeah, I paved the way for that guy. You know, he didn't get it as bad as I did in like lecture. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, he made his own decision. I didn't tell him like, oh, get a tattoo. Like, nah. Which, by the way, we do have, like, him and I, we were like, hey, like, we should get tattoos, you know, represent, like, we're brothers, right? Whatever. But this guy, right, he told me, okay, you get it first and then I'll get it. And I went the day he told me, all right, fine, let's go to the tattoo parlor. I'll get it myself. I got mine. And to this day, he has not gotten his tattoo.
Oh my gosh.
So Chris, I'm still waiting on that. Okay. But on that note, we just want to tell you guys, like, make your own decisions. Do your own research. I mean, I can say one thing, that the Bible says this and that it's not. Well, I'm not saying the Bible doesn't say it's not wrong, but I'm just saying, like, from what I've read and what I believe, it's not. And you might believe that they're not. And then we got other people in the back who might think they are. They are. Like, let's ask them real quick. Like Tammy, do you think it's wrong getting a tattoo?
I don't think it is.
So she says no.
I say no. I think it's just the way our parents, they make it like it's such a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's like we try to, like,
they try to kind of hide it.
Yeah, they try to like we try to, like, rethink, like, well, like, we just, I don't know, like, overall, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So it's a no.
It's like, because then it's like, oh, like, I want to get this tattoo, but then it's like, oh, like she mentioned, like, oh, but I'm gonna go to hell. So it's like, you don't know what to do, but it's like only based on what your parents have said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, Jonathan, yes or no? Not yes or no.
I don't have an opinion.
Oh, he doesn't have an opinion. Okay, we'll ask you next time if you think they're not, or we'll talk after. But at the end of the day, you know, make your own decision. You know, you guys read the Bible, and then you guys you form your own opinion.
And research it, because it is really interesting, the whole, like, translation part. Because I mean, it had to be translated, and then it that whole thing, it's a whole thing. So it's really interesting. I would recommend you guys to look it up.
Yeah. And it's like I said, you do it because if you're gonna do it, if
emphasis on the if.
Yeah, exactly. If, then really do put something that you want, like, you absolutely want it.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
don't do it because your friends are telling you.
Please don't.
I don't know. I don't. don't listen to them.
Yeah, because do something you want to do. Because at the end, mine, with all my tattoos, I don't regret a single one of them. I don't. Like, if they told me, like, oh, you choice to pick one that you want to take off, I'll be like, neither. Like, I love all of them. They mean something to me, so I want to keep them. But like I said, do your own research. If you're going to do it, really want to, because it's going to be there for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But it's things that I suggest that you guys research. And like I said, do not get a tattoo because I have one, for people in our church or the youth especially. Don't do it because you see me with one.
Yeah.
You guys have your parents for guidance. You guys do your own reading of the Bible. You guys will come to your own conclusion. If you think it's not, then it's not. And if you think it is, then it is. Either way, we love you.
Yeah.
We're not going to judge you. You're not going to hell because you have tattoos or because, we don't know. I'm tempted to say we don't know, but at the same time, like, it's your decision at the end of the day. So I think that really matters a lot.
Yeah.
But, well,
anyways,
okay. That is good. That is a good conversation to have.
It was good.
I wanted to get that off my chest, because I feel like people don't really know the real story. They just think that I got these tattoos because I'm like,
Wait, did you get one in Mexico?
No.
No?
I did not. No. No, I've always got.
I thought maybe the first one like that you got maybe in Mexico. But
no. Shout out to the tattoo parlor, Federal Tattoo here in Sunnyvale. I'm just letting you guys know, but yeah, it's something that I've been wanting everybody to know, really, the story as to why I got my tattoos.
Yeah.
And not just because I got it, just because. So it's, like I said, your own opinion. You guys can hate me, love me, whatever, but I know why I got these. And at the end of the day, you guys will know if you guys ever get.
And it's his body.
It's my
your
body. Exactly.
Too,
yeah. So
you know what you do.
Yeah, exactly. But that'll call it for today. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe to our channel. We will be uploading more often on a more consistent basis. But thank you guys for listening. We hope you guys have a good weekend or week wherever you guys decide to watch this video. We love you guys. All right. Take care.